All righty. Check, check, 1, 2, 3. Make sure everything's good on the stream. Check, check. Check, check, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. All right. So we are now in the live stream. We have some people coming in. The event literally just started. So for those of y'all who are at home, make sure that you check your event section. It is live now, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, every Sunday. Horizon Live with me, Oculus 410. And you can meet us in here in the Horizon Live studio in Horizon Worlds. So if you want to watch it on the live stream, continue to watch it on the Vidyuu Nights channel. It'll stream all night long, and you can watch it back when it's over in case you join us late. But of course, in Horizon Worlds, Horizon Live with Oculus 410. So we got some people coming in now. We'll wait for them to get situated. But we got a great show for you tonight, just like every other night. We do this every Sunday. So make sure you join us. Make sure you check your up and coming events and mark yourself interested. That way you get notification when it goes live. Welcome, welcome. Got some more people coming in through the door. So while we have some people joining us, please feel free to grab a seat. Please be mindful we are recording, so if you do want to talk, even though it is on Whisper, go ahead and join a party. You can party up, you can have your conversations, or if you want to join the talk with those of us up on stage, we do have an open mic here every single week. So if you have questions, if you have a topic that you want to talk about, or if you just want to speak on something and you want to get some feedback from myself or the guest on stage, all you have to do is walk up to our open mic. Please feel free to say hello, and then of course tell us what it is that you have on your mind. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna have to figure out a way where we can get a really good shot of the audience and, of course, the people on stage. But for now, we've got the shot of the stage and, of course, the open mic. So that way, when people come up and they have their questions. So once again, I'm Oculus 410. This is Horizon Live. We do this in Horizon Worlds every single Sunday. This is 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific time. You can join us here in Horizon Worlds in Horizon Live in the studio, or you can watch us live on the Vidyuu Nights channel every single week. And if you join us late, don't worry. You can watch it back later on. This is published after the live stream ends. And then, of course, come back next Sunday. We bring people straight from the audience to open up the show, and then we have a surprise guest every single week. So now that we got the room filling up, I'm going to stop talking to you directly, and I'm going to address everybody in the room. So thanks for hanging out with me on the live stream. Make sure you put some comments in the comment section. That way we can ask some questions. And of course, if you have something you want to speak on, we can go into that as well. All right. Wow. So this is great with notification system kind of bugged out and not really working too well. It's actually really relieving to see so many people are here. So how many people marked yourself as interested? It's okay, be honest. I know there was only a couple. I know I saw one, two. Yeah, amazing. So the event system right now isn't perfect, but the good news is the event system does at least tell you when something that you're interested in is starting. So you can see that on your wrist. It'll be a quick pop-up notification. If your notifications are broken, don't worry. All you have to do is pop open your menu, open up your attend tab, and then you can see what's going on right now. And the best part, if the host is actually in the world, you'll actually see it first for some reason. So that's actually a good thing. We had some events over the weekend that were fantastic. Shout out to House Call VR and Naviculara out in the audience, launching their first ever game for House Call VR, presenting Decay Squad. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out yet, but if you have not, take a minute right now. Open up your menu, look in the world section, and look for Decay Squad. It's actually a fun game that you can go in. You collect candy as the toothbrush and the flosser are trying to attack you, and you're basically the bacteria in your mouth trying to cause the teeth to fall out. And the high score, of course, you might recognize a name at the top of that leaderboard. So make sure that you go in there and see if you can knock me off that top spot. But it is a fun game. We had a tournament over the weekend, and you, of course, can watch that live stream back as well. So check it out on House Call VR on Facebook, on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure they've got a LinkedIn as well. So you can check out all of the places that they exist. You can like, you can subscribe, you can show support because they are pioneering the medical metaverse, which is incredible. Now, People might ask, medical metaverse, what is that? Exactly. It's new. It's something that is coming in just like everything else. We have businesses, we have nightclubs, we've got all of these amazing hangout spaces and art worlds and games. And the next progressing step is medical. You want to be able to find somewhere where you don't have to go and pay a copay, at least not right now. And you just want to kind of sit for a lecture, if you want to kind of talk to a medical professional, and without getting any kind of consultation, you can at least ask questions and maybe get to know a little bit more about what you're going through. And so that's a really great way that you can interact and you can learn a little bit more about something that you've been wanting to ask about. So make sure you check that out. House Call VR is building an entire brand around all of these different medical practices. And hopefully, if there's any of you out there that have a medical practice, feel free to contact Naviculara or House Call VR, and then you can maybe bring yourself in here to have your own office or even give a lecture. So thank you for Navicular, for House Call VR, for that fun time, for that tournament. And hopefully we'll have some more tournaments in the future. And again, check your events section. That's the best place that you can find out what's going on in Horizon Worlds. So to everybody out in the audience, I usually like to start it off by asking people to kind of look around, because every time I look out into this audience, there's always new people. So looking around, thank you so much for coming out. X's and O's. We got Herbert, Joyce. We got Eagle Eye Eric, Code Engineer, or I guess that's Cod Engineer, or maybe it's both. I just want to ask that. Maybe you can come down to the mic sometime later and tell me, because I see you in Discord all the time. So appreciate you being out. Average Words, great to see you. It's been a while. Emitron, Dimster. Make sure you check out Dimster's Doors World, because if you're a Monsters Inc. fan, literally, I could live in there all day pushing doors and having them come down. Don't scream into the screamometer, because it doesn't fill up. I actually tried to do that and it didn't work. So laughter doesn't work either, but it is a good laugh if you get somebody to scream at the little capsule. Utterly Otter, appreciate you coming out. See me, bro. I see you. You got Jay Dunn and Joy Rain's seat up there, so hopefully they don't kick you out when they get here. And it's always great to have so many people coming in, especially people who show up for our World Tours event. So Thiessen, one of our volunteers, love to have you. He's got his Melting Pot World that you can check out in World Tours. You can also pop in during the event. And if you want to lead a tour, that's another great thing. We've got portals now. So if you want to lead an event and you actually just want your world to get some traction, you want people to see it, all you gotta do is pop in. You can jump up on stage and tell people a little bit about you, a little bit about your story, and how long you've been in Horizon. Things that people would love to know about you that maybe you just don't get a chance to interact and network and meet new people. So it'd be great to have you show up on a Wednesday, lead a tour, and then from there, who knows? You might actually get a lot of people to come hang out in your world, and from there it'll just grow. So it's definitely great. I am going to at least pop open for those of you who have not seen a portal before, because I actually love these things. And I'll break my own rule, not throwing it in a main space. But this is what we do during tours now. Instead of having 100 doors in the world, we can throw up a portal and then basically you jump through it. Obviously, we're not going to jump through it today, which Thiessen is excited about, because he is our resident door presenter. I just gave him that unofficial title literally right this second. So I've been thinking about it and I didn't know what to call it. But he's basically presenting doors. He's helping out. And that's something that you can get involved in as well. If you want to come by tours and you want to lead a group, if you want to join a group, make friends, this is something that kind of goes back to the core of Horizon Worlds when it first, opened up, and even before it opened up during the beta, trying to find people to go exploring with you, find people to network with. And over the last year and a half, I've been lucky enough to network with so many great, amazing creators, builders, scripters, and even people who don't build and want to just hang out and go world hopping. There's so many people that I've just been able to connect with that I've never would have had the opportunity to. So I'm just so grateful for this platform. How many builders are out there? Right, show of hands. Anybody building anything? Oh, we got confetti too. Exciting. Catch these hands. Appreciate you. Hot Love, JCB, Jake Hole, Dark Man. Appreciate y'all. Arigato. All right. We got a lot of builders in the house today. So when you're in build mode, how many of y'all prefer collaboration to building alone? How many people? Oh, yeah. We got a lot of collaborators too. Collaboration is great. It's kind of the core of why I love it in here, being able to work with someone else. And even though in the beginning I didn't really appreciate what building was about, I really enjoyed being in build mode and doing world testing and getting a chance to really dive in with somebody else who had, all of this talent and they're putting together this incredible world. But the magic happens when you have that next person come in and they add their little bit of flavor and perspective to your world. And that's what really shows in so many of these worlds. But not to take away from builders who appreciate working by themselves. How many people appreciate just working by yourselves? Is that kind of a Zen moment? Is that kind of a place where you can clear your head? Yeah, there's a lot of you. So it's kind of a trade-off. You can either collaborate if you're more of the extroverted and you need that kind of interaction, so you're not just in a deafening space and throwing your shapes together. But then on the other hand, some people really like that time to be creative and unlock their creative side of their brain when they're just in there focused and building. And it's something that Horizon allows both sides to happen. So it's a really amazing experience, and it's a great thing that they're continuing to foster these relationships through world building, but also community building. So looking around, I got lots of people out there. I would love to bring one of you out here to open up the show. And since we kind of did already shout out a little bit, I would like to bring up Naviculara, if you wouldn't mind. You want to come up on stage for a minute and let's have a chat? I actually bring you up with my fancy script that I didn't write. Shout out to Lakes05. If you haven't seen it, this is a Vidyuu production. Vidyuu production just basically means he did all my scripting and I thanked him thoroughly. So not only that, but we've been collaborating for so long. Welcome to the stage, Navicular. It's so great to have you. Get our high
Hello.
five in.
Hey, thanks so
Oh,
much.
oh,
Oh,
there
it's
it is.
working. There we go. All right. Thanks so
Everybody
much
having
for
high
having
fives?
me.
Like, can y'all high five each
Yay.
other for a minute? Let me know if maybe it's just me. Can I get some high fives? I like the long distance high fives. Those are foolproof. I love those. I'm gonna give y'all a high five from here, and we'll give you a high five from here as well, since we're practicing the high five from a distance. So I did not wash my hands before you came up on stage, so maybe the distance high five is more appropriate. But welcome, it's great to have you. For those that don't know you, why
Hey.
don't you give yourself an introduction? Tell people who you are and what brought you into the metaverse.
Oh, gosh. Well, first of all, hey, everybody. I'm so glad to come by tonight. And thanks so much for inviting me up tonight. I want to thank you,
For sure.
Oculus, before I say anything else, for doing this kind of stuff. You're absolutely a community leader. And I think that everybody who's here
Oh,
really recognizes that the work that you do is, unparalleled. It's unbelievable to
everybody?
me how
Let me do a poll.
everybody should.
Anybody know what I do?
Does
Anybody?
everybody see that
No,
this
no,
guy is
no.
like amazing?
No.
So seriously,
Okay,
see,
I'll
I
let you
mean,
go back to.
I do have to say, you're really amazing. I mean, like your level of commitment,
Thank you.
not just to like your work, but like raising the community, raising awareness about people's
Hmm.
worlds, doing all the things that's so compelling that makes this platform so great, like such a wonderful place for people to connect. So I just wanted, before anything else, I wanted to give you a big shout out for that.
Well, thank you for that. Give some confetti for Navicular. I mean, the best thing about
Oh,
community in here is that you bring somebody on stage and you say, "Tell me about yourself," and they're like, "No, no, no, you first." And the community, like, I love that. That means the world to me. So, but
awesome.
now, actually, tell us about you so we can learn a little bit about why you're here, what you did before the metaverse, and how those worlds are colliding right now.
Yeah. I'm a doctor. I've been in private practice for almost 20 years. And in December of this year, I put on my 13-year-old son, got an Oculus headset. I put on the headset. I saw the trailer for Horizon Worlds. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, if I could use this to show my patients what it is I'm trying to tell them, if we could use games, fun examples, immersive experiences, if I could bring doctors in here to do lectures, to talk to people, what an amazing thing. I see people every day who don't have access to good health care, who don't have access to good information about their health. And I thought Horizon Worlds and the metaverse would be the perfect place to do it. So I've been working,
Wow.
I still see patients 2 days a week, but the other 5 days of the week are, I spend working on house call, and it's been an amazing experience. The community in here is fantastic. I'm not a tech centered person, so to start a health tech company has been an amazing experience. It's an honor. It's an honor to do work in here, especially with people like you.
So it's an interesting perspective because a lot of people we have on this stage, and even people that I've talked to on their stages, they've tried to bring a business in here that they wanted to grow, and it was either a home business that wasn't really getting traction. They have kind of a partnership with other brands and they wanted to bring those in. But you are a medical professional bringing your resources and information and connecting more of medical professionals into this space to help the community. Now, did you have this plan the moment you got in here, or was it kind of just you saw an opportunity after you got acclimated in here? What was that like when you first came in?
Yeah, I mean, I have to be completely honest. I put the headset on and basically the whole idea just plopped in my head. So, and I've been
That
chasing it
quick?
ever since. I know it's not a glamorous way of explaining it, but that truly is what, and came in here and then learned just how amazing people are and just how far it can go. And they like the idea of being able to reach so many people is just, beyond exciting.
Oh, that's incredible because now my second day is when I decided I was going to help people, but it was out of frustration of my first day. And,
Mm.
I've kind of dedicated all of my time based on my first experience of just not knowing where to go, where to find places, how to connect with people. And during the pandemic, it was like, this is where I want to come for my social interaction. I want to be able to connect with people since I can't go out and I don't want to go out. And day two, it was like, all right, I'm going to figure this out. If it's the last thing I do, I'm not leaving until I figure this thing out. You put on the headset and you're like, "Oh yeah, I know Dr. Bob. He's going to come in here tomorrow. Let's go. I'm building a business." I think that's amazing. Did you actually think you would be where you are right now, or did you think it would take like a year, or what were your thoughts about growing this business?
That's such a great question. I really didn't know. I have to be honest with you. I what I really just thought to myself was I I'm always trying to explain things to my patients. I'm drawing pictures. I get the little plastic model out, and we can do better than that. And so by using this technology, especially on a free and open social platform, to bring that in, so you're not only bringing in immersive experiences, but you're bringing in social experiences where you're like playing games together and having experiences together.
Hmm.
You really are recognized. Like it was for me, that was the impetus, and building a business around it has kind of happened second. It was the whole desire to really just bring better health literacy so people more fundamentally understand what's going on with their health and they can actually do something about it. I think there's just not enough focus on that, so to use this tech for that was just, it was like water flowing downhill.
So they got me thinking about my own personal experience as far as medical literacy and my own encouragement to worry about my own health. Now I don't want to ask anybody their ages out in the audience, but just kind of go follow me on this journey. So in my 20s, medical consciousness or whatever had no interest whatsoever in my mind. You're invincible in your teen years, you're invincible in your 20s, and then you hit your 30s and you're like, why is my back and my knees hurt all the time? And you're like, oh ha ha, it's a joke, I'm getting old. And then you get to your upper 30s toward your 40s and it's like, oh, I got my blood work back and cholesterol's high, or I need to take in more sugar or less sugar, or good, level out my good cholesterol with my bad cholesterol. And then you're starting to think about it and you're like, oh god, this is like the rest of my life now. And so when you started having these lectures, I was immediately drawn to it because there were so many things that I didn't know. And I was like, well, where else am I going to ask on my yearly physical? Am I going to ask, my primary physician, I'll see them maybe twice a year. And it's like, well, we're going over all this other stuff and I'll bring it up. And then that's kind of it. That's it for the rest of the year. But with House Call VR, these lectures are actually fun. They're entertaining. There's great information, open mics where you can ask questions. And I know maybe your medical health isn't on your top priority of things to do in the metaverse, but pretty soon you're going to blink and you're going to be like, all right, I've been in headset for, the last 6 years and I'm, consistently exposing myself to, I'm seated in an uncomfortable chair and now I've got back problems. I've got, whatever it may be that may come along with it. And you're going to have these resources in VR, hopefully, where you can just come in and say, hey, I've got these kind of ailments and I want to know what kind of advice, I should take. Or maybe it's to a step further where you're actually able to do consultations. What do you think about that as far as from where we are now to where you want it to be?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think everybody who's in here really can recognize that we're sitting at the very beginning of the next expansion of technology. Like, I think we can all see that that's the path. We don't know how, nobody knows. Companies like Meta are putting in an incredible amount of resources, and they're not alone. There's a lot of
Hmm.
companies that are working, medical companies that are working in immersive technology. What they typically are working on is like a training, so there's a lot of companies that are working on like training doctors, training EMTs, training nurses and medical students how to be, how to do surgery and do procedures and stuff. And there's actually other companies that are working in direct patient therapeutics. I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a company called Applied VR. They have an FDA approved treatment for chronic back pain in virtual reality.
Oh
So
wow.
that's just like blows the mind, right? There are FDA approved treatments, and that more of that is coming. And so where we saw the need was in patient education, patient outreach, like giving people more agency over their health to understand better instead of just having to go to WebMD, or I probably shouldn't say the name, but
Hmm.
going to
Yeah,
a
I was gonna say
website.
that I'll find out how many
Sorry.
ways I'll die in the next 6 hours if I go to
Okay,
a certain
right, right.
website
Because you don't know
for
how to.
you know.
Exactly. You don't know how to parse through that information. And so talking to a healthcare professional or going to something that's been designed by them is still the best way. And as far as where this is going, I can really see this as a great way for people to have social experiences around learning about their health, and then eventually to have direct consultations and virtual medicine. And there's no reason why a let's say it's a post-op visit. I did surgery, you're coming to see me, I'm going to ask you, hey, how's it going? Maybe we're on a platform where there's a video interface. So, there's really no end.
Right.
Then if you imagine like bringing in biometrics, like let's say that I could bring up your lab work, I could bring up your wearable glucose meter to see how your diabetes is doing, if someone has that. That's all possible, and definitely I think going to happen in the future. And I want to see that it's there and available for everyone. I don't want it to be, from my perspective, I don't want it to be for just the people who have great health insurance, or have health insurance, or have a job, or can't leave a bad job because they want good insurance. I want this to be available
Right.
to everyone.
No, that's all great information. And before we go diving into too much medical talk, and I know that sometimes that does kind of blur where your information, your entertainment, and you get to a point where you don't want to talk too much medical, but it's the tech side of it that I think people really enjoy hearing about. The capabilities over the last 10 years alone has just been astronomical and exponential compared to 50 years before that. I have friends who their child has diabetes, and they have a glucose monitor that goes to their Apple Watch, and they get an alert when sugar's low and things like that. So we know that this stuff is only right around the corner. I think that it's just when all these companies work out their licensing issues and partnering together on which way to go, we're going to see all that stuff in here, and that's the part I'm excited about. So I do want to talk about your game. Go ahead and shout out the people that worked with you on Decay Squad because I had so much fun and I only got a chance to play maybe a handful of times. So shout out the people at Decay Squad and tell them a little bit about what where did the idea come from?
Oh, well, yeah, I got to talk about my team for sure. So, I have to start off with Em Halsey. I don't know if everyone knows her. She is a terrific builder. She builds, among other things, anatomical worlds. You can go see her Heart and Lung World is really beautiful, where you actually get to ride on an oxygen molecule through the heart and through the lungs and the circulatory system. It's really, really, really fantastic. She's an incredibly talented builder and did the anatomic modeling, not only for that, but for all of our worlds. The scripting was done by Pigeon number 12. I'm sure everybody here
Pigeon.
recognizes her. She is just an incredibly talented scripter. And the game itself, the way that it's driven is actually really unique. So it's done by projectiles and not by objects. So that's what makes it really fast
Mm-hmm.
and fun. It's called Decay Squad. Definitely go check it out. And lastly, the finishing touches were put on by Tanzer VR, who is just,
Tanzer.
like next level. When you go in there, you'll be able to, you're in the mouth and you're eating candy, trying to avoid the good guys, you're the bad guy. You can look out and you can see all the costumes are his, and all of the view from inside the mouth is there, and it's like stunning. His building is amazing. So
So
that's our team. And go ahead.
fun little fact, Tanzer VR actually helped on this set back during the beta. So I know looking around, you would be like, where did Tanzer touch anything in here? Because it's so basic. And this is like my design of keep down the polygon and the geo count and make sure that we get people in here rather than making it look amazing. But the satellite dish with the signal coming out, and he helped with that while he was in here while we were putting the rest of the world together. And then Lakes and of course Merck and myself built the rest. But I was like, can we just get like one of those like dishes on the on, you know, it's kind of like that like that news break kind of thing going on. And he was just like, okay. And like 10 seconds later, he's like, does this look good? And I'm like, wow. I don't want to
Yeah.
make anything else in here though, so I'm sorry. But he put that together so quick, and I was just like splurting out like terrible description of what I wanted, and he just nailed it. So Tanzer, even
Yeah.
back during the beta, was an incredible builder. His abilities have only gone up, you know, exponentially with the time he's been in here. So amazing job in Decay Squad. So as far as House Call VR, you still have some lectures coming up. You've launched a game. What's next for House Call VR? Anything you want to share before we send you back to the audience to enjoy our special guest?
Yeah. Our next lecture is set. We haven't officially publicized it, but for the people that are watching, we'll give you a little bit of a hint. It's actually a well-known person here in Horizon who is actually a physician, and they're going to be
Oh,
talking
that's not me.
about, um, yeah, a physician. He's going to be talking at the beginning of October about living with pain without suffering, and I think that's
Mm,
a really compelling and important subject. So we're really looking forward to that talk. He's an incredibly insightful person with an unbelievable knowledge and a great way of speaking with people. We'll have some other upcoming lectures. We have a couple of new physician worlds that are going to be launched in the next couple of weeks and months, so keep an eye out.
awesome, awesome. All right, so go ahead and tell the live stream where they can find you, and then we'll send you back to the audience.
All right, live stream. You can find us at House Call VR Facebook page is probably the best thing, or housecallvr.com if you're a physician looking for a space. Other than that, come find our worlds, our newest game. If you type in House Call, you'll find everything. It's all one word, House Call VR. You'll find we have 8 worlds that are published now. You can come in there and definitely check out Decay Squad, though. It's a ton of fun. And thank you so much, Oculus, for
Awesome.
having me.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. Oh, the high five worked that time.
It
Fantastic.
did.
So, this script is not working very well, so I'm gonna unfortunately have to ask
I'll
you to
just
take the
leave.
long way out. So, right through the back curtains, everybody, lots of confetti for Navicular and for House Call VR.
Bye. Thank
Appreciate you being on
you.
stage and hanging out with us. All right. So let me unlock that. That way you can get out. So this is basically the format every week. We have somebody from the audience come out and we bring them onto the stage. And Naviculara, while you're heading back, pigeon number 12 is watching live while she's building. So that's one of the features and the benefits of having the live stream. So if you're in build mode and like we were talking about, if you want to have a collaborative session, or maybe you just want to be able to watch something while you're working, you can actually watch now YouTube while you're in build mode, especially on desktop. So check out that video. That was by Sensei J, amazing person, amazing builder. He put that video together, and I believe it's on the Vidyuu tutorials channel, and it's called Netflix and Build. So make sure you check out that video, and you can actually watch this or any other YouTube channel live while you're building. So pigeon number 12 sends her love and, of course, her appreciation for you shouting her out. And, of course, the rest of the team at House Call VR and on the Decay Squad. So for those of y'all out in the audience, why don't y'all go ahead and point out who you think is going to be up on the stage next? Who you think our special guest is this week? Just looking around. Oh, we got some points at Emitron. We got some points. COD engineer and Eagle Eye Eric wore the same outfit to the show. Maybe we can bring them up and get a selfie later. Make sure you stick around. VR Star. I don't know. Well, y'all, please welcome to the stage my guest this week. I'm super excited to be able to have a conversation with this person. They've been in Horizon for, I believe, at least the last 9 months, and here working hard, doing amazing work, and most recently republished their world with an update. Please welcome Herbert Joyce Jr., y'all. Throw some confetti. Throw some confetti. Herbert, it is great to have you on this
Ooh.
stage. Welcome, welcome.
Hey man. Oh, I got the drifts.
Looks like you got a little bit of drift going on. Everything all right?
Yeah, man. I just had to open up my menu to stop drifting. It's one way you
Cool,
can do
cool. I was gonna
it.
say if you just look over your shoulder, open that menu, and then go ahead and just turn back around, that menu will stay back,
Hmm.
and then you won't drift. Which I got a little
Right.
bit of drift going on. So welcome.
Yeah.
It's great to have you. I don't know if anybody's had you on their stage recently, but it's great to have you here. I've been a fan since literally the moment I even heard your name, seeing what
Oh
you've been
man.
doing. But can we get you to just talk a little bit about yourself and what brought you into VR and into Horizon?
Well, I really appreciate you for um, inviting me to your show, man. It's an honor. Thank you for what you do for Horizon. About myself, well, I am a native of Memphis, Tennessee, and
Hey.
I got on Horizon World because I have a love to build. In real life, I am an architectural drafter,
Oh
and I have
wow.
a degree in graphic design as well. So it basically comes second nature to me when it comes to building. When I first started building, I literally built on a computer, but just forming things with your hands was such a challenge at first. Um, but I got the hang of it probably within a week. But I am an architectural drafter. Again, I reside in Memphis, Tennessee, and let's see what else about myself. Um, I love to play the piano.
Oh
Fun
great.
fact.
So is that something just a hobby, or you were forced as a child to play piano and now it's something that you one of your many skills, or how does that work?
I, I think in my family, you typically have like the guys that are like into the sports. It was kind of different for my family. All the guys, um, we are very artistic. So musically inclined on my mother's side, and I have an uncle that plays the guitar. People sing on my mother's side, and my father plays the bass guitar, and my his brother plays the acoustic guitar. So
Oh wow.
I didn't pick up the guitar. So at the age of 9, I decided to kind of tinkle around the piano. So I've been playing since the age of 9 years old.
So your family was planning on putting together a whole band and get y'all traveling the world, huh?
Oh no, man, not me. I don't play as much though, but sometime I get off and I just if I hear some songs or something, I'll make a track or something like that, or write a song or two.
Now, I have seen a couple of worlds where people have made pianos, and of course, you don't get all 88 keys. You just get a couple of the tones and the notes. Have you considered creating something to have kind of as a musical outlet, or maybe add in one of your worlds?
Well, to be honest, I actually have a piano. During my birthday, Victor 3000, See Me Bro,
Oh,
Eric,
okay.
and some other people. They gave me a surprise birthday party, which really was such a blessing to me, man. And that really encouraged my spirit. It really did. Victor 3000 created one of the most detailed pianos that it's literally in its own world. 88 keys. I mean, and I
Functional
am,
too, or
it's, it's not functional. It could be functional, but it's not functional. And of course, me being the, the person that likes the things in order, I was
mm.
counting the keys, making sure everything that was correct. I'm like, you've been studying, Vic. I'm like, you got it right, man. It's really nice. It's really nice.
Now, is this
Yeah,
piano
man.
modeled after like a real piano, something that's like one of those like what are they called, the baby grand pianos, or what kind of piano was it?
It's it wasn't an acoustic baby grand piano, but it was of course a digital baby grand piano. if I were to go to the music store, I'll just buy one you can kind of turn on. But he had
Oh,
all the
okay.
little buttons and gadgets. One thing about Victor, he I can just hear him now. Just just the most realistic. I can see him just it's gonna be the most realistic thing. I'm like, Vic, you just
No, that's great. That's great. I've
yeah,
seen
man.
some other musicians create guitars. We had for the launchers competition, which was the
Hmm.
last show we did in here before opening up to the world during the beta. Third place, Miles, he created a guitar with the launchers, and each chord that you played was kind of like a spell casting part of the guitar.
Yeah.
So it told you on the back all the different chords you had to play. And
Oh,
there's
that's
been a lot of
creative.
other creative people like Barry Nice. He's created a world with piano. We got a
Mm,
xylophone. Some people put together the Fender verse. I don't know if anybody checked out the Fender verse. Anybody out here been to the
I've
Fender world?
seen that. I've
Yeah. So
seen
I
that.
mean, musicians. This is a great place to be able to put together that guitar that you've been, or any instrument that's just out of your budget, and you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just make it. Like that's the
Hmm.
best part about it being in here. You can make anything you want.
That's true.
Is there anything that you've been just dying to build, and I want you to steer clear of the world that you already built, because we're going to talk about immediately after that answer. So, is there anything that you've been dying to build, something that you just want to put together and you're not sure yet, or it's on your list?
Huh. It's it's funny that you said that. You know what? I really never thought about that. I'm the type of person, if an idea just hits me at that moment, I get in and build it. Or if not,
Okay.
if real life isn't have make sure real life is in order first before I jump on Horizon World. But once I make that room enough to come in, I will build whatever. So just not really. I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a interesting question. I guess no. I don't have a set world or anything this heavy.
Hey, that's no worries. And I guess this is kind of a bad segue, since you said, you kind of worry about your current life situation before you go in and build something. I'm going to ask you about, obviously, your greatest creation that it stayed on the map for what felt like forever, and it's back. Talk about that. Tell everybody what that world is, because if you don't know Herbert Joyce Jr., you're about to. Talk
Oh.
about your world.
Well, my world is Metacourt. I am the creator of Metacourt. Um, I got on Horizon World in the exact date is December the 21st. Um,
Mm,
I was, I don't know, I was just excited. Well, I was in venues, couldn't get into Horizon World, and I think the meta gods heard me over in venues, and I was mentioning, that I had a love and desire to design in Horizon World, and the next day, I was in. So, thank
wow.
you,
December
Mark
21st. That was the
Zuckerberg and
day that the
team.
beta opened up, right?
Nope, it was not. It was like I got in before the beta. I got in before the beta.
Huh.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So, Metacourt, what made you decide to build a court in Horizon? Because no one before you had created one, and no one even talked about creating a court in here. But it was just the most obvious thing to all the people that were going around and basically role playing in worlds. Where did this idea come from?
Um, Well, it first started when I first got in Horizon. I was helping a lot of people building things, and I really never really built anything for myself. And I said, you know what? Let me build something that would be kind of fun. Just I can literally go in and just kind of laugh at. And
Right.
I don't know, man. It's just the word court just popped in my head, and so I based the first meta court off of literally the courthouse in my city. So it's really based
Oh,
off of
okay.
the design is based off what a color. And and the world was sitting there for man a good month or so, to be honest. And I was talking to a gentleman, I can't think of his name, and we was talking about worlds. And he said, "Let me check your world out." Came to the world, And he said, you know what, man, this is cool. This is kind of realistic. He said, let me invite some people, and people started to come, and Katniss up there, she ended up coming in. I think her and Andrew. Andrew has a club, a comedy club, so they all kind of talked about Metacourt. They brought all their peoples in, man, and from that point, it's been running. It's ever since, man.
Now, when I first found out about Metacourt, because I lived in the menu, like that was like the only thing I could do to find new worlds. And at the time, we had Hardy World that was living in the menu, and
Hmm.
then Metacourt popped up. And I think you and the Soapstone were the two that every single day for months was in the top
Yeah.
previously or most popular or featured. Like it was always up there. Like, did you expect it to blow up at that point, or were you just thinking we're gonna have a couple good days? Like, what were your thoughts about it after you started seeing some traction?
Well, I was really grateful. I'm not the type of person that gets so caught up in the hype. I've been just built like that, raised like that, not to get so caught up in the hype. One thing about Metacourt, I tell people this. I'm like, I'm grateful to be in the top 100, but the spotlight is always moving. The question is, how would you function when a spotlight is off of your particular world? So, and I told him, I'm like, Metacourt probably won't be in the top 100s, and I'm okay with that. And I'm just grateful, man, because just for the opportunity. So when it was in the top 100, you know, I'm just Herbert. I'm like, good, come play, get involved, have fun. I don't really have a big head about it,
That's
man. I'm just grateful.
that's a great answer. Now, a lot of our people would say top creators in here, people who they see in the menu, people that are holding that traction for long periods of time. Most of those people, when you talk to them, they're real humble. They're very grateful. I'm grateful that people are coming and showing up. People are giving me advice. People giving me feedback. Did you have people giving you feedback on your world, or was it just kind of rolling as is, and you started just enhancing it because you had new ideas? Talk about that a little bit because it has definitely grown from when it started to where it is now.
Metacourt literally was a brown box,
Hmm.
with some church pews in there, and big bubble lights, and so for me to build Metacourt, just the structure, it took me literally a day to build the entire structure.
Oh
But
wow.
but the things about the improvement and the detail comes along, with the lighting. And you also came in, thanks to you, you helped me with the guilty button and things like that. And we had some great scripters. See me, bro. He came. Uh, um, Code engineer. He's helping me with the updates. Great dude is great. Eric, and just people just coming into my world, just talking to me. So the Metacourt, what you see now, was not the Metacourt in the beginning. But literally, it was a box, and I'm just, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited about how it looks. And but I do get feedback. That's your question. I get the good and the bad. I have
Oh
gotten
yeah.
people to call me in the middle of the night on Facebook. Uh, I to the point I have people when I used to go in Metalcore, about good 10 to 12 people will always come to me and bombard me with questions. I'm the type of person I make time for you, but I'm like, man,
Hmm.
I had to literally make a little black box away from the world to kind of zap myself into, because it was a little overbearing. But I get all feedbacks, and I always listen to feedback. What if it is good or bad? I still listen,
Well, that's a
because
perfect
that
segue. We do have
feedback helped
Thiessen at the
me.
mic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
go ahead and
I'm
finish
sorry.
that thought. Go ahead and finish that
Oh,
thought real
no,
quick,
no,
and then we'll get to Thiessen.
no. I was saying, just feedback. It really helps. It really helps your world. It really takes your world to the place where it needs to be, because you don't create the world for you. You create the world for the people, the players.
No, that's a great perspective. We're gonna come back to that perspective in a minute. Thiessen, unmute, and then please welcome. And what do you have on your mind?
All right, so I was just creating and I was trying to build like a little spawn box and it's just insanely bright. I just want to know, how do I get rid of this brightness? I don't have any dynamic lights, just it's like just white.
Yeah. He started off with a brown box, and I can't imagine it was too bright in there. I know every one of my worlds, I like to keep it open because I love to see like the sky and make it feel more like welcoming and open to people. But when you build a box, it's usually the reflectiveness or the sheen or the texture or material of the walls that you've created. And the best thing you can
Hmm.
do is go in and slide that texture down, but also make sure that you're choosing a material that isn't really highly reflective, and also put some light in there to kind of take away from what the walls are doing. So like I like to
Mhm,
use like a yellowish, like something that's not white, and I'll take the brightness down to almost like 5 or 2%, and then you'll
mhm,
have just enough light in there to where it's not just super bright because there's nothing.
mhm,
In the first my first club world, Club Oculus, there was under the stairs you could go into, and I was like, it's going to be pitch black, everybody's going to go in here and it's going to be cool. And as soon as I made it pitch black, it's bright as possible because everyone's avatar shines like they're ghosts.
Hmm.
So it's really just trial and error with textures, with materials, and with your own lighting inside of that box. Try it without the top on first, just so that way you can kind of get the lighting right, and then put the top on it and see if it does actually allow you to get that darkness that you want. You can also check out the cave in there, which perfect example. I put the flashlight. There's a couple of floating light boxes, but overall it's super dark, and you can use the flashlight to see those dark spaces inside. And it's mostly because I have an opening, the material I used, and I've got light on the outside of where the dark spaces are. So you just got to play around with that until you get it.
all right, thank you.
Awesome. And again, this is your show as well. Please come up to the mic if you have questions for me, if you got questions for Herbert Joyce Jr., and if you have a topic or something you want to ask about, please feel free to come on up. We got MetaMasters VR in the house. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate you coming out. And of course, every time I look up and we change topics, there's a lot of new faces out here. So I appreciate all of y'all showing up. We were actually talking about Medical Metaverse and House Call VR. We actually got one of the winners from the tournament up there, Lord Jules. Appreciate you being here. Shout you out. Appreciate you coming out and taking away one of those spots in the tournament.
Oh yeah.
So Herbert, we were talking about that perspective of you wanted to build a place for other people to enjoy. I always find
Hmm.
it interesting when I talk to people about why they build. One of my purposes of building, obviously for community building, my first world was a maze, and I wanted it to be something that was really open and didn't really make
Hmm.
people feel like they were confined, or it was going to be too difficult and it would frustrate people, or if people have issues with small confined spaces. I really wanted to kind of make it for everyone. And I immediately, from that world on, created hangout spaces and spaces where people could come together. Now, in my thoughts, I built worlds that I wanted to hang out with in, because if I did, then that means I would enjoy it more, and then people would join on me. But I noticed like a lot of creators are building places for other people to hang out, and some are a really big success, but others are kind of falling flat. Do you think there's any magic to Metacourt that you are aware of or you've seen firsthand, or any advice that you would share as far as maybe if somebody wanted to build that next world and better understand how you got the traction you did?
Well, wow. To really be honest, I don't even know why metalcore took off like this. I'm thinking because maybe people are playing roles that they wouldn't play in reality. I mean, who wants to be a criminal in reality? But
Who wants
of
to be a
course,
criminal out there? Anybody
uh,
want to be a criminal? Let's just check right quick. We got a couple. See, there's always a few. Actually, there was just one. I
uh,
ain't want to embarrass him.
uh, so I'm thinking, sometimes I kind of ask my question that, why do how could a person build something that can draw people? It kind of reminds me when I was in art school for graphic design. One
Hmm.
thing my art instructor drilled in our head. She said, always find a problem. And if there's a problem,
Uh,
create a solution. So you can use this same motto even in Horizon World. One thing that I do notice about World, they feature worlds not just based off of skills, but feature worlds based off of purpose. What is the purpose of what you're doing? You know, when you're building a world, what is the purpose behind it? Um, just like the doctor over here. I mean, I think that is phenomenal. You know, she's bringing her medical skills inside of Horizon World, broaden the knowledge that she knows, you know, and just educating people. So people will flock to your worlds based off the purpose of it. You have some party goers. I mean, you know this yourself. You know, if you have a club, people like to have fun. You know, when you build a world, give us something to do. You know, we have
yep.
a lot of beautiful art worlds out here, beautiful worlds, but they're kind of dead. Beautiful pictures. We need something to do. It's all about being interactive. We like to hop on stuff, jump on whatever whatever we can jump on, you know, throw things. So it's all about just for whoever is creating your next world. Just think about, okay, what can I give my players to do? Provide
Yeah,
them with
the
something.
Horizon kind of started as art, and there were no games. There was no one, here creating these interactive experiences. It was art when people first started, and it was mostly because of the tools, the number of people, but it really
Mhm.
was. And that's why I always shout out Paige Dansinger, Metaverse Page now. Used to be Better World Museum. She's been in here since like day one, the first 25 or whatever that number is. You can look up Paige and all of the things that she's done just in Horizon Worlds, and you could fill an entire library of books because she's been so impactful with her art, creating an art template for others to get started with their art, starting Women in Horizon, being just a steward of service to the community. So there's just lots of things that stemmed in here from art, and I love that art is taking the front again with Art Wars. Tone Scarfo's doing
Oh
incredible
yeah.
work bringing these artists together and having a friendly competition, something that you got the
Hmm.
trash talk, and of course you've got other people's artistic skills at each other, but it's in a fun environment where we're actually talking about art and we're appreciating
Right.
the qualities that people are putting into their art. It's their own expression of themselves, and I just love seeing all of this creative skill that's being brought in here.
Can
Have you
you
connected
see
with
the
any artists? Oh, go ahead.
Yes, yes, I have. Well, before we move to that point, but can you see the I guess the juxtaposition of you merging the art with the interactiveness of it? Like you not only have art, but you're an artist and I'm an artist. So let's
Mm-hmm.
come together and let's create this art war. You know, to see it's not about who's the best because each in my eyes each artist have their own set level of skill level or whatever, but it's all
Mm-hmm.
about just coming together, you know, and just saying, hey, look what I can do, look what you can do, this nice, that's nice, and you can kind of, you know, just have fun about it. It's all about having fun. I'm sorry about the
And it's
yelling.
funny you say that because in those art competitions, the first two that I've been a part of, they ended in a tie, and they took it to the community to vote on the winner for the first one, which was also a tie, and now the second one, I believe there was actually a winner. But it's just incredible the level of skill that you putting these 15 primitive shapes together, adding some textures and creating art in here. I was blown away when I saw some of the people in here that are creating art, and I had to get my own. I had to get me a Metapop. I don't know if you got one yet. Did you get one yet?
No, she said she was gonna build me one, but she hasn't
Oh,
built me one quite yet. But she 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 is the artist that I want to talk about. Sade, or some know her as Shady Chan. Um,
yes, A-Chan.
Sweetheart. Met her. I met her before she actually started doing anything, and she would come into my world, and some other people just kind of would just sit there and just watch. And just to see her from move from point A to all the way to point Z
Mm-hmm. A
within
whole nother level.
months, right? It's quite impressive. Now, the only thing what I preach is, and to each artist that I meet, I'm like, hey, just remain humble, just stay humble, you know, because you never know what's going to happen to your hands when your hands are gone. That's it. So stay humble, um, allow people to appreciate your art, and always be open to people. You know,
That's
she
kind
has a
of
wonderful design. No, go ahead, man.
that's kind of right on point with something we were talking about when Navicular was up here about thinking about your health, and you never realize one day, you don't know, you might slam your hand in a car door and damage a nerve, and now you can't hold a controller for more than a few minutes a day. You might end up,
Yeah.
carpal tunnel's real for those IT folks out there like me. You might start developing some kind of vertigo, or issues with your vision. You have no
Oh
idea.
yeah.
So you really do have to really be humble and appreciative of the gifts that you're given and the time that your ability to share those gifts. So I really appreciate you shouting that out, because that is very helpful and it's very true. And we do take it for granted a lot. And to go back to Sadie Chan though, I definitely had to get me a Metapop. And first thing I did, as soon as I got it, I posted it online. I shared it, tagged Horizon Worlds in it,
Mhm.
and next thing you know, they're commenting on her work. And I told her, I was literally in her messages after I posted it, and I was like, "You are on another level. Like, all it's going to take is you to start tagging Horizon, and they're going to recognize you." And she was just like,
Mhm.
"Oh, thank you so much. Very humble." And then the next day, I was like sharing that screenshot. I'm like, I told you. All you had to do was just tag somebody." But even beyond the Metapops Museum of Ice Cream and the Trippy Chamber and Trippy Realm, I featured
Oh
both
yeah.
of the two of the three. And Museum of Ice Cream, I mean, that one lands on its own as an amazing world. But all of these
Yeah.
artists are creating so much amazing content. So if you don't get a chance to support an artist in here, literally, if you have nowhere to go, just go to one of these artist worlds. I mean, Angel the Artist, Sadie Chan, Be Breezy, Chirac. I mean, there's so many great artists that have been building in here stuff that you would just be blown away by their capability. And when I saw the Aaliyah tribute, I saw what Goldenham was doing. Had the picture of Zuckerberg. He had the Kobe
Hmm.
exhibit. I mean, it's just, I could go on forever. And some of y'all, how many people have been to an art world in here? How many people have been to an art world? Just real quick, yeah. So about half of y'all. So I'm telling you, it may not be laser tag. It may not be the next club world, but I'm telling you what, you going it's going to change your perspective on what you can do in here by going to these worlds.
Hmm.
So have you thought about having somebody put one of their artworks in your world, or are you kind of at your capacity? I know
Um.
that I definitely need to get my Metapop in here, get rid of this coffee mug, for real.
Well, I can't even pull a cube out in Metacourt, so that's not gonna happen. So
Yeah, not gonna get no art unless it's just a cube,
not in
and even then,
Metacourt. um, but however, matter of fact, Shady Chan, she does have. I do have some artwork. I have an art gallery. It's called the Gallery of Arts. Um,
I was gonna
it's
ask
just
you
a
about that
world.
next. So let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, just I have I have a quite a few worlds that I really just don't push. I just kind of create and just set it out there. Maybe I should start really pushing my stuff, but the Gallery of Art was actually, there was kind of a world that I really wanted to build. So I just built a simple world, not too many shapes, but very nice in design, but simple, because I wanted to have room for the artist to bring in whatever art piece they can bring in. And Sade, or Shady Chan, she donated an art piece. The way that I have it like section off like a plus sign, and each artist have their own area, not just a wall, but their entire room to fill their own artwork with. Shady Chan, she put a work up there. Southern Edibles, Katniss, her nephew,
Mm.
Ashley, and she may not want me to say this, but her nephew is a young artist, and she placed his work inside of there, and and some more artists. So I'm open to whoever that wants to place their work in my art world. So
Yeah,
hopefully
and that's
I,
kind of why I was trying to.
hopefully have an event soon there.
Yeah, that'd be great. And that's kind of why I was trying to segue into it when I was asking if you collaborated with any artists and if you had a chance to work with any artists, because your art gallery world, it's one of many art worlds out there that just deserves so much more traction. Whether it's through likes, through visits, whatever it may be. But I can't stress it enough. Go find an artist. I mean, I guarantee you, there's plenty that you'll be in a world with. All you gotta do is just click on their name. Just click on their name and just see what their creations are. I'm nosy. I immediately when I meet somebody, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Let me send you a friend request, and I'm checking their creations first. I'll send that friend request eventually, but I want to find out what they got going on. And oh, GDW Bain, he's fresh out
What's
of
up?
out of
What's up?
a jailbreak from Medicourt. He wanted to be a
What's up,
criminal.
Dad?
I got a question. How
When
does the
yeah,
new
please.
artist get? How does the new artist get in contact with you and be able to? Because you named a lot of people that's been on here for a while, but what about the new guys?
They wasn't
You
always
mean
on here. Well,
you said a new artist to place the work in my art gallery or just
Yes,
in
sir.
general? Oh
Yeah.
man, you,
Uh,
you see my name?
Uh huh.
Shut
See my
up.
name? This hold on,
Uh,
somebody's talking.
Baby
That's my
Mason.
pause.
yes, baby
All
Mason.
right.
yeah,
Um,
that's his name on
G, G,
Instagram.
GD, my you
Mm-hmm.
can it's my whole government name. So
Mm-hmm.
Herbert Joyce Jr. So you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. Um,
Then you
those
come
two
check it out
places.
and stuff like that. All right.
Yeah, yeah, man. Just hey, just message me. That's the
Okay.
best way to message me, and then I can import your stuff in my world.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, one of the best things
That's it.
about being in here, whether you've been here since December, you've been in here since last February, if you were one of the first 20, 25 people, it doesn't matter how long you've been in here. You could have literally started today and you can connect with people. You could come walking through that door as your first thing that you've done in Horizon, as I've actually had people do. And they're like, what is this? What's going on in here? And we've been able to connect them. We had somebody come out here who had a YouTube channel and they do voiceovers and they were like, hey, you guys are streaming and you got channels. How do I get traction? I haven't hit my 100 subscribers yet. And I'm like, go ahead and check out so and so. Go right now. I want to see headsets up in the room. I want to see headsets in the air so I know y'all are on your computers. And we did that. Like that's what it's about. It's about elevating the community. It's about giving back, giving people a chance. So see me, bro. If you can give Joy Rain and Jay Dunn their seat back, you can give them a chance at holding their spot. No, I'm just kidding. It's cool. They
You
on the three
mentioned
bench.
about
Shout out Jay Dunn.
you mentioned about collaboration with certain artists. Um,
Yes,
I have I will probably say organically collaborated with
I love
certain.
that.
I have
Talk
I,
more on that.
I have been in I have been in worlds, man, where man, I can tell you how many people they randomly just add me to worlds, and I go and check them out, and they just mainly just ask me for advice, but me just being an artist, I find myself pulling out shapes and showing them how to do this, or if they're in a Z ripping, or if they need me to check out the world. I just don't correct it, but I show them how to correct it. It's kind of like teaching them how to fish, basically. I have few people in here. We just get in worlds and just start doing stuff. Um, we all got in one world. It was Cat. I think it was some other people, and we just call it the flea market. It's basically because she took all of the stuff and it literally looked like a world of just building things. And she like, don't call it a flea market. And I'm like, well, we just building things and just kind of making assets, and And all of my friends, they are known to just steal my assets. They're like, Herbert, I got this. I'm like, you can have it. I go in their world, I got this. All right, cool. So it's all about really just not collaborating, but building like real friendships, like literally for real friendships. I could like the people that I hang around, I really just consider them just my brothers and sisters, like seriously.
That's amazing.
And
To
that's the type of relationship
piggyback
that you
on
want to
that,
build in Horizon World.
me and Genesis, we just made a thing for all the kids that be in here because we noticed we made a checkers world, and on that checkers world, we had kids come in. They were flipping all the checkers all over the place, and she came up with the great idea. You know what? They need something to go. They like to push buttons and do all kinds of stuff, just like how you guys were talking about earlier. They had to have something to do. So then we made this another world called Kids Cove. And that was real easy because she thought of some stuff to do, like buttons to push and all that, and then after that it just organically happened. So we
Right.
be in there and they can draw and do all kinds of stuff, just tear up the whole place like they want to.
Right.
So if you guys get a chance, check that out, Kids Cove, and we did Checkers Park. It's all under Genesis' name though.
I'm gonna check
But
that
I helped
out.
her out.
Appreciate that shout out.
Yeah, Genesis 64. Yeah, I forgot to plug in my stuff when I came up here last time. All right, I'm done now.
Appreciate
It's all
you.
good,
Appreciate
man.
Genesee y'all doing that. So interesting segue. I was going to talk about Meta Kids Court. So talk about that. Why'd you come up with a kids court?
Oh man, the kids just don't want to hang around kids. Well, number one, they don't like to be called kids.
Yep. Number one answer right there.
Well, we attempt to make the kids court. Just because we made it don't mean the children gonna go into it and the it's how I deal with children. At first I was the type of person to be like, pull the kids out, pull them out. And then I realized that it was summertime and that as soon as you get rid of 10, 20 of them gonna come right back in. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, man, y'all kids are just really multiplying here. And so we made a meta, first called it Meta Kids Court, but we also had some educators. Two educators came to me and it was like, Herbert, you may want to change the name from Meta Kids to maybe Meta Teen Course because kids don't like kids. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool, I'll do it. Never got to it. And I called one kid a kid, and the kid kind of went off on me in a kid like way. He's like, I'm not a kid. I'm like, all right, kid, you're gonna be teen. So I changed it to Teen Court. Um, this what I've done. We had one kid. He will always hang around us. His name is Anthony the Goat, but the Goat is spelled backward. He will always hang around him, and we call him Meta Kid. So Metacourt Kid. So we gave him something to do. It's Anthony. So this is what I want you to do. When a child comes into Metacourt, your job is to direct them from the court and direct them to the teen court. And it worked for the time being. And what I also do is I kind of meet with the children and ask the kids, okay, what would you like to see? What would you like in this particular space? And the kids tell me. I also ask the kid, why won't you all hang around children? Um, and one kid simply told me, we just want to hang around adults. I'm like, okay, I can't say nothing about that at all, but still have
Right.
that place so the kids can go into. So, sometimes they go into kids' courts, but sometimes, depending on the maturity of the child and the maturity of the court case at that moment, we actually let kids come in and play. We had one kid. He wants to be a lawyer, and he said he always wanted to play judge in middle court, and we gave him opportunity. So yeah, man, the kids court's cool. I probably have to put some more crayons and some more brushes or something in there. I gave them the taser. They can shoot people in jail under the world. I don't care. Have fun. So That's the spill on Meta Kids Court, man.
Yeah, I figured that with the kids' court, that wasn't going to be a hit because kids, like you said, don't want to just hang around kids. If you give a
Hmm.
kid a fake cell phone, they immediately know it's not a real cell phone. Even if they're, a toddler or a baby, you give them a fake remote control to the TV or an
Exactly.
unplugged controller to the game. Eventually, they
Exactly.
realize right away it's like, oh no, this ain't real or this ain't connected. And it's the same thing in here,
The
but only
bottom line
quicker.
is, man, the children just want to be around us.
Hmm.
That's something that we can't get away from in Horizon World. So what we do is we have to provide places for them and also really protect them as well, because you have people that
Yep.
are, like pedophiles and just people with twisted minds. And so that's one thing what we do is when we hang around, in the group that I hang around, we see kids, we kind of talk to them and kind of cover them. Okay.
Yeah, the biggest concern I had when I came in here and kids started popping up was about, places in online, chat rooms and Facebook groups and in
Hmm.
Xbox Live and PlayStation Network and all these other, online areas. There's no like place where, these people who are coming for children really they're just everywhere. And I was worried that here was going to be something because there's these real connections and friendships that are forming. We actually had discussions about this where if somebody underage wants to learn how to build, is that a safe thing to do, taking them into a private world instance and building? And
Right.
shout out to a lot of the early creators who thought about this, because some of them would tell them flat out, unless your parents are in the room with you to give permission
Hmm.
or in VR with you to be in the room, I don't feel comfortable taking you into build mode alone. And it's more of
Exactly.
protecting both sides, not just protecting themselves, but protecting the kid as well, making sure they're aware these are the dangers of being online around grown-ups. But I somehow I
Hmm.
haven't seen it. I don't know if I'm just oblivious to it, but the way that the news works, everything that happens in here pops up on the news if it's bad. I
Right.
mean, what are your
Right.
thoughts on that?
I think for the most part it's pretty. I think for the most part it's pretty safe. I know there was like one incident over in venues where some guy was kind
Hmm.
of talking to this little 12-year-old, and I'm kind of proud of the people that was around me. We all kind of really went over there and started drilling him. Like, okay, so what are you doing? He was like, oh, that's my friend. Why is she your friend?
Right.
And she's 12 years old. That don't seem right. And so we kind of got him out of there. And so we as creators, I think, like I said, the kids are gonna be here. That's just a given. So we have to kind of. I'm not saying babysit the children, but if they are around you, just keep an eye. You know, as if that child is your child. So that's my thought on that, man.
Yeah, and that's
It's
that empathy that I really am glad to hear, because when we started getting this influx of kids after summer broke and all these popular worlds were just getting overrun with people who were definitely under 18 but definitely under even 13. And
Mhm.
I had conversations with a lot of world creators about this, because in my worlds, disruption is disruption. So if you're underage and you're running around like a maniac and you're screaming, it's disruptive. Doesn't matter how old you are. But there's some underage creators in here that are doing incredible work. And last month, I was able to, yeah, like, yeah, I'm famous. That's exactly. Grab a seat, please. That's exactly what we would talk about, is the fact that there are these amazing creators that are in here and they're doing incredible work, and they're not allowed to get noticed, because if they unmute and they have people hear their voice that they're underage, then people are going to
We,
want to report them and people are going to want to remove them. And
hmm
it's unfortunate
hmm
because I shouted out Jay's trampoline park probably for a month straight. I featured it for 2 weeks. We went there and took pictures. We posted selfies to the world page. We posted all over social media. And this was something that I had really spoken strongly about and people were not on board with at the time. But more recently, a lot more people are taking like a page out of Smile Honeychild's amazing
Hmm.
work that she's doing, providing VR headsets for children and helping them get involved in the metaverse. And Super jumping in to start Script Kids and collaborating with Creators Academy and giving them a chance to learn how to script. And there's other
Hmm.
people in here, and I don't want to put their names out there, that they're bringing their whole families in, and they're bringing their sisters and brothers and their children in to learn how to build and script. And imagine if our parents would have had the technology and the capability to bring us in here as kids, what we'd be building right
Exactly.
now.
Oh man.
It would-
Right.
It'd be over. It'd be
You know
over.
what? You know what,
And
Oculus? I believe just just timing is everything.
hmm
It's good ideas. It's just the certain time for certain things. So I think the timing is right for it.
yeah, for sure. Southern Edibles at the mic. Welcome. Step on up and say hello.
Hi, Mr. Herbert Joyce. It's so nice to meet you. I just want to congratulate you on the new build for Metacore. It looks fabulous. I
Hey,
do have a question for you. Will you be
yes.
renovating the kids' teen court since we were just on that topic?
Hmm. You would ask that question because I told myself I am not touching that court.
I mean,
um,
do you know the numbers on kids or teen court or whatever versus Metacourt? I mean, obviously they're on two different levels, but do you have the numbers to?
um, yeah, yeah, I do. For I know for the visits for teen court, we had over 4,000 visits.
Oh wow,
I know for Metacourt, we have over 48,000 visits. Normally we would get
48,000.
like, man, probably like, I don't know how it works, but we would get like over 1,000 visits per week or even more. Man, it's just mind blowing. But and we recently just reached, I know, 4,000 likes. One thing I noticed, people come to your world, but they really, and it's really not based off of likes, but it's based off the attendance. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I guess just the likes just look good. I don't know. So,
Yeah, likes
but
is
you
another
know,
one of
but
those numbers that I don't chase, but it's great. I appreciate it when people like my world. 4,000 likes. That's
but
incredible.
to answer a question, I'll probably put that on the back burner. Once the kids get out of school, um, maybe we can change it into something totally different to will them in.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have a space for kids, and like we said, they want to hang out with us, but at the same time, like there's some out there that know they gonna get found out if just their
Oh
actions.
yeah.
I mean, when they come in and they're holding the controllers like this and they're looking up and around at the sky, like people
Hmm.
know. I mean,
I
but
call it the T Rex. When they
yeah, the T Rexes.
walk like a T Rex and
Yeah,
little squeaker voice. We call them squeakers sometimes, but
yeah.
whistles. They all sound the
And
same.
it's not that we're discriminating against these kids. It's the fact that
Mm-mm.
on a federal level, you got to be 13 because it's illegal to collect data on children. That's just bottom
True.
line.
True.
After 13, you notice that the game itself says it's rated T for teen, but it's advertised to 18 and older. Did you
Hmm.
know that it was rated T for teen? And do you think that that's why more people under 18 are in here?
Um, I really never really paid attention to. Well, yeah, I thought it was 18 plus. And then to somebody brought awareness of the age limit. So even in medical court, man, what we do have rules to keep the court covered, to keep my world covered. Um,
Mhm.
when it comes to teens and the kids and things like that. Um, but yeah, 18 to teens. That kind of like recently found out about that. Like, man, probably like 3 months ago. I'm like, what? Okay, 13 plus. Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of world creators that because they saw it was advertised to 18, but it is rated T for teen. They've been more receptive to allowing people under 18 to be in there as long as they're not being disruptive. I mean, I've mentioned a
Right.
few times on here that I have people who come to tours and they just want to help. They just want to be a part of something. They just want something that is fun and they don't want to be disruptive. And so I'll have them help out. I'll be like, if you want to welcome people into the world and direct them up on stage, if you want to present the door that we're talking about, if it's the weekly or monthly feature, if you want to take them to your world because you're a world builder, like I want to encourage, these under 18 creators to keep creating and keep learning because eventually they're going to be the ones building these platforms and, we're going to be the ones that are going to just be exploring. I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I love world building, but I love exploring and hanging out with my friends even more. So the time I spend in world building is fun, but you know, if you're not Metacourt, even Metacourt's seen times where there's nobody in there. You actually want to be able to go and spend time and be with people that you enjoy hanging out with, and not have to keep building that next big thing every single month.
Yeah.
Unless you're Michael
Yeah.
Gregory, you just turn out worlds like every single day, but.
Man, he popped those things out like babies.
Oh yeah. So I want to ask you about Michael Gregory. Did you ever feel any kind of way when you saw he had Meta Supreme Court, Child Support Court, Paternity Court, all the different courts that he came out with? Because I thought that it was great to see more variation and more creativity being inspired
Hmm.
by what's already here. Because I always tell people it's not about being first, it's just about doing well, do it better, do it great, or just do it for
Exactly.
yourself. And I think seeing all of these different versions of where you had Metacord in here doesn't mean that it's any better or worse. It's just options. What are your thoughts when you saw it?
Well, I mean, I already knew that somebody was going to attempt to make like so many courts, man. If you pull up the menu, it's all types of courts, which I don't have a problem with, you know. Just like my thing is a hamburger is a hamburger. So but you have different businesses like McDonald's and Burger King, making the same product, but just the product's just a little different. So same with designing worlds here. We have a lot of podcast worlds, we have a lot of clubs, we have a lot of studios, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just different type of flavors, different types of styles. The only issue that I have is if a person literally plagiarize. That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right at all. But you know, when Michael came out with his court, I really didn't have an issue with it. I'm like, okay. I mean, congratulations. That's how I look at it. I just roll on,
Speak a
and
little more about that inspiration versus plagiarism, because I know it's a fine line for some people. For some people, it's a blurred line. I talk about it a
right.
lot, but what are your perspectives on that? What's the difference in your mind between inspired by versus just straight plagiarizing?
A will is a will. Um, but you can modify that will um to certain likings or to a certain look, but the functionality of it is still, you can't not take away the functionality of a wheel. It rolls. So but the thing, when you literally start, and it's not hard, but when you start literally duplicating like that cloud right there, I'm like, okay, take that cloud, I put it in my world, and I put my name on it, Herbert Joyce Cloud. I
Mm-hmm.
I took it from you. It's not a huge math equation. It's like 1 plus 1 equal 2. So it's people just be really really careful with it. Be inspired, but don't take. Bottom line.
I love that you pointed out the cloud because the KO clouds have been in the Vidyuu Essentials bundle for about 8 months, maybe longer. And I have her create clouds in all my worlds. So all of the tours worlds in here, Club One, she's created all of the clouds in my worlds because I fell in love with the first time she made these clouds, which was in here.
Hmm.
They ended up in Vidyuu Nights. So maybe Lakes plagiarized my clouds. I don't know. It's his wife, but I guess I'm taking ownership of the first KO clouds in Horizon. No, but in all seriousness, I 100% agree with you. It's like I talk about intent. If my intent is I'm going to make a coffee cup, I mean, there's three shapes here. I got my noodle, I got my hollow cylinder, and then I got my regular cylinder. and I can't tell you how many people can make a coffee cup. And this is literally kind of a replication of a basic coffee cup in the real world or in the physical world. But that
Yeah,
doesn't mean that I stole that design from whoever first made the coffee cup. It's an inspiration that I built
exactly.
my own to have in here. But I've seen so many variations of coffee cups, ones without Z ribbon on the bottom too. So I mean, even
Exactly.
there, they've one upped me. But
But
as
you know
far
what,
as
man?
the cord.
You know,
Oh,
Oculus. It's one thing that I know somebody asked me about their reasoning. It was like, what if somebody make another metal court? I'm like, if they can duplicate it like mine, because it took wow, I threw the cup way over there. um, if they can duplicate it like mine, go for it because it took me a long time to build it to where it is right now. So I really don't think that would be really just an issue, man, at all, at all. I think
you
Sunshine
know,
has a question here.
Meta Metacord 2.0, when you named it 2.0, I had to laugh because I was like, Metacord, everybody else does these like version numbers, they do the new, the updated. You just kept it easy. Metacord 2.0. And I was just like, that's something that I really love about you and your style and your way about you. It's like you don't want to put the marquee around your name like some people. You don't need to put it
Oh
on
no.
a big stage. Like just let the people know that there's something new to check out. And I just kind of looked at it and I was like, I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was just something that was unintentional. But is that why you just kind of want to let people know there was an update? You weren't really like, hey, everybody, come
Well,
check me out.
well, my good friend, he's from Toronto, Moody Mustafa, and so
Moody.
we was in the world, we was in the world building, and he was like, "Yo, bro, you need to update Metacorp." And normally I would be like, "Nah, I'm not gonna get in there and touch that." And when he said that, it's like something kind of like I just felt like a light switch click on, and it's time. Again, I didn't redo it to get back on the top 100. That's not my intent. To be honest,
Hmm.
I can really care less about being on the top 100. I've experienced that. Sometimes that can be a headache for you creators.
Oh yeah.
The top 100 is a price that comes to that. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity. But it's moving back up again. But Moody gave me to redo it again, and it hurt me because now this is the part that really hurt me when I would see people in the Metacourt group. It was like, "Hey, I can't find a court. I want to see my friends. I miss people coming together." And so that moved me to do it, and I was like, "Well," and then Moody was like, "Man, just update it," and then I just said, "Hmm." He said, "Name it Metacourt 2.0." So I give that to Moody. And I'm like, you know what? I like that, man. And I just named it Metacourt 2.0.
Shout out Moody for that. And welcome Sunshine to the stage. Please feel free, introduce yourself or just ask a question. What do you want to talk about? What can we do for you?
Sure. I'm Sunshine, and
Hey,
I first want to thank you for your presentation here. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been very
Thank you.
informative. Thank you. And I enjoy the audience too. They're just like me, just absorbing this
Ooh.
information. But my question is about kind of like uh, people who have different talents, not necessarily like art. For example, I published a book and I would like to find people interested in the topic of my book and have a presentation where I could, let's say, interview like you guys are doing and talk about my book, which happens to be on the topic of living trust, how to set up your own living trust. How do I find, you know, people in certain categories or interested? You name some artists, right? Like, is there somewhere where you find certain groups? Like if I was interested in a author group, people that actually do writing and things like that want to promote what they're writing about or anything.
So in Horizon, the interesting thing is, and someone came to me, I want to say it was in like February or March, and they approached me during World Tours, and they said, "I'm looking to find more people in my community. Where do I go?" And so I asked them, I said, "What kind of community are you looking for?" And she said, "I want to connect, or I want to find more worlds by Asian creators." And I said, "Well, I know of a few Asian creators, but I don't think that there's a group yet. Why don't you create it?" And I know that's a very kind of, easier said than done kind of thing. And like 2 weeks later, she sent me an invite to be an editor on her world, and she created Worlds of Asia. And I was blown away by the number of connections she had already made in 2 weeks. I think it was her first day or maybe second day in Horizon. But in 2 weeks, she made connections with probably a half a dozen Asian creators. She built an entire hub world that was just incredible visually, a hangout space. There were spaces where you could take parts of Asia and you could put it. Which region in Asia is it? Is it Northern Pacific? Is it Eastern or Southern or whatever it may be? And she built this all because she just wanted to find that community. So the point of that story is that if you search in the in your world's menu just for book clubs or books or authors or any kind of a topic that you find interest where you think you'll find more people, look and see who the creator of those worlds are and then connect with them. Send them a message on Oculus Messenger or go to their world. And my favorite thing is to post to the world page, because then they'll connect with you, and then you might be able to grow a community of people who are looking for other published authors or authors who are coming up, and just want to share their work with people in Horizon.
When you say
Have you had
world
a
page,
chance
are
to
you
do that?
talking about Facebook? Is that what you're talking about?
So I know my camera is going to look a little different than yours, but if you post a picture, so literally take a picture, take a selfie, and when you click on the selfie to open up your menu, you'll be able to share it. It'll say post to world page as the option. And what it does is the world creator will get a notification saying someone posted a picture to your world page. Do you want to approve it? And they can read the text underneath of the picture to say, "Hi, I'm looking for other authors," or, whatever you want to say to that person. And then they know who you are now and they can reach out to you and, either add you to a collaborator of a world or you can add them. I mean, there's a dozen different ways that you can do it. Um, but that's just one resource. You can use Discord. I don't know if you're on Discord or not, but you can ask in one of the channels, the general channel or events, looking for other authors to create an event or a world. You can use the Horizon Worlds community Facebook group, the one with the check mark for the unofficial, or the one run by Meta. So there's lots of resources. If you just ask, there's usually people that'll say, "Oh, I know an artist or an author, or I know, someone who's an editor, and maybe we can connect," and it just goes from there. I mean, the community's really excited about connecting people, especially if you drop a word and it's something that they know someone who does it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. You've been very helpful.
Absolutely.
I got
Good
my work
luck
cut
and
out
come
for
back
me.
and let me know the progress of that, because I'd love to hear more.
Awesome. Thank you.
Did you have any advice for her, Herbert, aside from that?
Oh, yeah, I think you kind of covered it all. Just if only thing that comes to mind is basically just reach out to the Horizon World group, and it's a lot of people that are very interested in what you're doing. I actually met a mother and daughter. Um, they kind of did like a book type world. They was promoting their books and things like that. So yeah, good luck, and I believe that you're gonna do well.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's something about being in Horizon Worlds when you want to do something. And Jason Earls of the Well Metaverse podcast, he said it: who you are in the physical world is only magnified in the metaverse. And it's true, because I've seen people bring small businesses in here and they've been able to literally grow a business in the metaverse and not have to worry about paying for a storefront. I've seen people who started content creation literally in Horizon, and now they're creating content and monetize, making money. Like, there's so many opportunities in here that people just don't realize, and all it takes is just finding your passion. You might be able to connect with people
Oh my god.
that you would have never come across. Oh, catch these hands is
Yep.
somebody must have caught.
Purple.
He must have caught somebody's hands or something. I don't know.
Somebody
Well, we're gonna get back to him when
slap
he
the obvious
unfolds.
off his face.
Have you had a chance to meet anybody in here that you think you probably never would have connected with that's helped you or influenced you in any way?
Ooh, boy, I think everybody that's in my circle, man, they really have influenced me. They really have encouraged me. I remember when I got discouraged, even about Horizon World, see me, bro. He would like, hey, Herbert, he like, Mr. Herbert, you need to get back on Horizon World. And I'm like, man, I'm done. I'm about to get ready and do some do some real life stuff. And him, uh Southern Edibles, just everybody, um Katniss, they just really encouraged me. Catch. Catch is from my city. Actually, we we live in the same city. So, Catch, he encouraged me too. So it's just the people, you know, but you're talking about famous people. I met one famous person here.
Oh, speak on it. Brag a
Right,
little bit. Go ahead.
Raheem Devine. I think I'm saying his name right. He came
I guess I'm.
actually into my studio that I built, and
Oh wow.
he very nice guy, very nice
The
guy.
Love King, Raheem Devon. Any of y'all know Raheem Devon out there? I know there's some fans out there. Oh yeah, all kind of hands going up. I think Hardy brought him into the metaverse, if I'm not mistaken. He had built that world with him, the his love world. I don't remember the name of it, but I know he worked on it. Catch these hands. You got something you want to comment? You want to share? You want to say? You want to shout out your town
Yeah,
since y'all from the same city?
yeah. Shout out to the 901 Memphis.
901.
I really came up here to
Anybody from
give
Tennessee? Anybody from
peace, peace.
Tennessee before we move on to your question? No, that's all right. People all over the world. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really came up here to give my guy Herbert his roses
No,
before it's too late. While
no,
he
no,
up
no,
here,
before it's too late.
Herbert.
Before
I
it's
ain't
too
going
late.
nowhere.
I'm just saying, we live in
I'm
Memphis,
not
man.
going
Don't know
nowhere.
what's finna happen, man.
Before it's,
Don't say
nothing
that.
is happening to me. I'm gonna be safe and alive.
But no, man.
You better, man. Let me
I've been cool with
drink on
Herbert
this.
since he first came in, and he done helped me out a lot, inspired me a lot, even inspired me to build a little bit. Gave me my first bill, gave me an office. I had plenty of meetings in there. But yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you. We appreciate you,
Oh man.
and man, thank you.
Hey, we appreciate you, Hands, for sure. You've been in here doing this since day one too. So I mean, it's good to see that people have connected. Oh, I don't know why my camera on you. Good to see people connected, people collaborating, and I just love to see people giving each other flowers because y'all something that Jay Dunn said to me, and I'm a butcher it because I can't never repeat words as good as he does. My man is a certified preacher. If there is a certification, he's verified. But when it comes to positivity and sharing a good word with somebody, it's when people want to give you your flowers, don't reject those flowers. Accept those. Like you're basically telling them that you don't want their flowers when you reject it. So make sure that you're not only recognizing other people, but allow people the chance to recognize you as well. So that's a direct quote. It's exactly the way he said it to me. I got it in a text message or something. You know, you don't have to believe me because I don't know if it's true or not. But it's the truth though. I mean, it's great when people are up here recognizing people. Herbert, you definitely deserve your flowers. Everybody, let's get some confetti for Herbert real quick while we got a second. And thank you for Catch These Hands for recognizing. I mean, look at that crowd out there. I mean, that's
You
that's
know,
you putting in your
but
work and
but
people
man,
appreciating you.
Catch. I see Catch going. Okay, so you have scripters and you have builders and you have pushers, and so I
All the
see
pushers.
I see Catch pushing worlds and things, and I asked him, I was like, man, I'm like, do you have a place? He's like, no. And I had an office. I literally gave this brother my office. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it to you, man. I'm homeless. I don't have Horizon haven't gave me a home yet, so I'm still living in the park. So,
Hey, we all out here on the island. We out here on that island. Who out here on the island still? Horizon homeless. Yep.
Feel bad for y'all,
Yep.
man.
We trying.
No, but this is a
It's
good
hard out
brother
here.
though. I mean, man, Catch is a good dude, and I just felt like blessing him, man. And it's always good to, I know some are here to make money and things, but just feel led in your heart to just bless other people sometimes, And trust me,
100%.
it'll come back to you. It's gonna come back to
Okay.
you 100-fold.
I can't stress enough when people are wondering when is it my time? When do I get a chance? I don't know why you muted, but um people will ask like, I've been doing this for like a month now. When is it my time? I've been in here 3 months and nobody's recognizing me. What do I do about that? And I'm like, I've been in here for over a year and I'm still pushing forward. And you know what? I feel exactly how you feel right now. There's been those times where you feel down and out. There's those times where you feel defeated, where ask yourself, why am I still pushing forward? And I'm gonna embarrass Jay Dunn a little bit, and I'm gonna keep shouting him out because he's been one of those voices that's been pushing me through it. I had a moment where it was just like I wanted to give up everything. I mean, and it was just in my darkest time of all of my time being in here. I was just ready to throw it all away. And he told me, he said, when it gets tough, when people are telling you to go the other way, when they come at you with that negativity and they want to, beat you down and make you want to quit, that's how you know you're going in the right direction. That's how you know you're doing right. When it gets hard, that's how you grow. You don't ask for strength and then you get it. You go through hard times to get that strength. So you got to have these hard times. You got to have these hurdles to get over, these walls that are put up, and
Mhm.
you just get through them. And it doesn't
Yeah.
happen overnight. Sometimes it takes time. It's a process. Other times you can look back at it and be like, why was I even tripping? The worst times in your life are in the past. You got over them. You're still here. So if anybody can motivate my man Jay Dunn and Joy Rain, I mean, shout out to them. They are a shining light in the metaverse and among so many others. But y'all are just my inspiration for keep pushing forward anytime I feel any kind of way. So shout y'all out as well. I don't know if I got enough flowers for y'all, but I'm gonna keep sending them your way. Hakuna Matata, come on up to the mic and unmute. Say what's up. Tell us what's on your mind. Did
All
Herbert
right,
build a
right.
world for you too?
What up,
No, but
brother?
he definitely inspired me to start creating. So
Hey,
I definitely
look
want
at
to give
that.
you kudos for your worlds. When I first came
Oh
onto
man,
Horizon
appreciate it.
Worlds, Metacorp was shown to me by someone that I was, exploring with. And then ever since I went there, I always came back and, to the point where I was intrigued about how like everything was from like the chairs to like the triggers to like just everything. It kind of opened my mind more to Horizon World. And that's definitely ultimately inspired me to start creating and inspired me. So I'd like to know what ultimately inspired you to come to Horizon World, what inspired you to build Metacore, what inspired you to
Mm.
become a creator. I know you're an architect in real life, but what inspires you to actually like get in here and build something like a masterpiece? I feel like everything you do becomes a masterpiece, but like, what pushes
Oh
you to come
man.
out here?
Oh man, I
I don't know if you already
appreciate
talked about that or not.
it.
He skipped over a
um
little bit, so I'm glad we back. Please.
Yeah, yeah.
well, what inspired me to come here? Well, my true inspire was I wanted to get on the metaverse, of course, to make money. And
Okay.
but not knowing that in Horizon World that I was going to meet cool people, and it changed my entire perspective. Even times when I'm not making money on here, I still get on just to come and just say hello or just world hop, with my friends, man. Um, Inspired me to make Metacourt. Like I said earlier, I just wanted the fun place where I can come and laugh. I don't even play in my own world. So
Yeah, yeah.
people like Herbert, be the judge. I'm like, no, but I'm just gonna
Nope.
be honest. I don't know
Have you
what
been
to
the judge
do.
yet?
Fade glass.
No, I don't know what to do. And I created the world. Just fun fact. I don't know what to do. So I get nervous. I'm not gonna even lie. When I'm in that judge seat, I am nervous. So so no Cat and them was like, be judge. I said, no. We
I
actually
don't know. That
went
mallet's
in
hilarious
like
though.
behind. we actually went in creative mode, and Katniss and Southern was kind of showing me how to be a judge, and y'all just don't know the things that go behind the scenes in in medical. But man, that really inspired me. I really wanted to do something that was kind of fun and hilarious, and I'm like, what can I do? And I just heard loud and clearly, because I hear and I see things, and I've been like that since I was a little kid. So whatever I hear, sometimes audibly, but whatever I hear or see, I just do. And
Hmm.
even people ask me about, how did you design this, or I'm like, to be honest, when I have that vision, I just
I
literally
know what you're
repeat
talking
what
about.
I see, what's in front of me. How to do it, I don't know. I just do it, and I feel inspired at the moment to do it. When that feeling come on me to create that, I do it, and it always works out for me.
So, do you have like your first world, like the first world you published or ever created? Do you still have that published?
Oh
Like, can we
God,
check that
man.
out?
Oh man, that is a story right there. My first world, that, that was before they gave us the option to go online and to restore the world. So me being new to Horizon World, I didn't know that editors could like come in there and literally take your world apart. And so I let man, a lot of people in. And I was just excited, just being, zealous and naive. Like, man, look what I did. And when I took, I think it was Moody, I met Moody, and I was excited to show him my world. It was just a big, massive something. I don't know. And man, when I tell you, somebody literally took my world apart, like shapes were everywhere, and I'm like,
Someone was
oh
jealous.
God, I was so mad. I was like, ah, and so, but Moody was like, bro, just turn into something else. And so I have a world called Vive Metaversity. It's a world that seats like 32 people the legal way. we
Uh-huh.
this world is this world isn't glitched to 32. It's just world where of course we have like the Hall of Worlds is where people can put their doors in there. That is intent to, people can come in and just go to different places, different
Yeah.
worlds. You may not want to go into the auditorium, but the auditorium is really just a lecture hall for anybody can have whatever. We actually had a graduation there, like for the meta marshals. We have a meta marshals in meta court.
Yep. Yep.
We took them through training. I have a world called Metacourt Legal Services. We have our meetings there. The little kid I was telling you about, Anthony the Goat. We
Yep.
had over 130 something people to apply and interview. And this
Wow.
this interviewing process took like over 2 days. I zapped into the world, and Anthony was at the reception desk, and he was like, "Herbert, you cannot be here." He put me out of my own world. I'm like, okay, I'm like, all right, I'm gone. But Vibe Metaversity, man, is a world that anybody can use to have any type of events or whatever. If you just need me to change the title, I change the title. It's free of charge. I'm not charging nobody. Just use the world. It's a big, nice, beautiful world that I created. And so the piece, there's a little statue, a monument that I memorialize as the last piece of deleting that previous world. So that piece is it's a nice little sculpture that like in memory of the former world. So
Oh
it's
wow.
Vibe Metaversity. That's my first world, man.
All right. Nice. Nice. All right. I mean, that was my questions of the day. Thanks again. Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me
Yes,
answer.
sir.
Or thanks for answering my questions. And
Man,
keep
appreciate you.
doing amazing.
Thank you for coming to
Fire
meet
to you,
with me.
Absolutely.
brother.
Thank you, Kuna Matata. Step on up. Whoever wants to go first. Southern Edibles, welcome back.
Hi. Thank you again for having us, Oculos. We enjoy your show.
Thank you
We
so
want to
much.
thank Herbert Joyce Jr. for everything that he has done for us. He's an awesome friend. When I tell you, when we're down, need help, anything, he is our go-to person. And me and Katniss just want to thank you for that.
Aw,
Oh,
you're quite welcome. Katniss the
yeah,
That's
Great.
it.
yeah. We are the friends that steal his assets too.
Yeah,
Oh
we don't want to
Oh
steal his asset. Yeah.
they steal all my assets. Everything I create, they
no.
take.
They
Like I'm
came
gonna
right up to the
report you
mic
to
just to
all.
put it on blast, and we steal
Yep,
from him regularly.
they do.
Toilet
That's
in
all
her.
my
Oh,
I
friends
would
do.
just like to say he has the best toilet in Horizon Worlds. And I definitely
Oh
took that.
God.
He built the best toilet I've ever seen in my life.
oh my god. Okay, so tell me about this toilet before we move on to our next question. Hold on up, Amina. We'll get you 1 second. I need to know about this toilet now. What is the story
Okay.
with this toilet?
Okay. So I made two toilets, but I never made a toilet before. I've been seeing everybody making toilets. I'm like, let me try to make a toilet. But I made like one of my many unpublished homes that I attempted to create for myself, and it's not published. So I just made a toilet and Vic put the script on where it could like flush, and so I took apart that toilet in Metacourt 2.0. So it's where if a person that are kind of trolling, we zap them to the small jail, they have to earn their way to the Bell's bonds, bondsman area down below. The script you can't really move, so they have to literally stretch. And once they hit the button, it takes them to the toilet. So I like having fun. And so, we can get them out, but I tell them you got to flush the toilet 20 times. So we had people just flushing the toilet 20 times yesterday. And man, it was just, it was hilarious. But, eventually we let them out. But it was this whole toilet thing, man. I don't know. I guess she just like my toilets or whatever. So,
Oh, hey, the best toilet in the metaverse. I will take their recommendation because I've seen a couple good ones, but y'all sound real enthusiastic. I'm gonna have to check it out. Amina, go ahead and unmute, and then please say hello, introduce yourself, and if you have a question or a
Hey,
comment, please.
okay. Hey,
Amina,
Herbert. Um,
hey.
so of course I'm not a builder. I hope to one day pick up the skill. I've been playing around with it, but Herbert built my world. I gave him basically kind of an idea of what I wanted. I could not have ever imagined what the finished product is. I'm so thankful, and because of his vision to help bring this forward, I hope that our company that I work for will bring a recruiting company into the metaverse. The office is so tech savvy. It is so chic. It's so professional, as well as all of the security features for confidentiality. It's just a really, really great build, and I'm so thankful that you were able to bring this vision forward. Thank you so much.
Aw.
Wow, that's
Y'all
awesome.
make like
Talk
something
a little
about to
bit
happen
about
to
that.
me. I hope nothing don't happen to me. Y'all throwing all the at me. Gosh.
I mean, I had no
Thank
idea
you,
that
Amina.
you had collaborated on these worlds. So, talk a little bit about that world. How did y'all link up and come to making a world for?
Amina, she came to me because she needed something. She has oh God, Lord, don't slap me, Amina. A temp agency, and
Right,
so
Staffing.
staffing.
staffing
Okay.
agency. Thank you for
Yeah.
that clarification.
No worries. No worries, dear.
and
Go ahead.
and and she actually like something that she's doing to provide job opportunities, real job opportunities, for the people in the metaverse all over the nation. um and so she gave me her vision. She wanted like a 2-room office and a conference room. And knowing little old me, if I'm doing, I don't care if it's a box, I'm gonna make your box the best box ever.
It
So
is the
because
best.
I believe what think about me, I put my all into it, and what I do reflects me. So if I give you something ugly, that's gonna reflect me, and I refuse to give you something that's hideous. So
Mhm.
and then one thing what I do is, to be honest, people ask me, even in my graphic design work, I've had clients to ask me, how do you do it? I'm like, what do you mean? You literally pulled the design out of my head. And I don't tell a lot of people. And I told the guy, I said, well, man, I really just pray. I
Mm.
pray and then I get an answer. And then
Mhm.
once I
Wow.
get the answer, it's in a vision. I sometimes design what the client actually sees in their head. It shocks the mess out of me, but it works for me. And
Yes.
so I did a little nice, simple design for her, and
It's
it was
not
just an honor to
simple.
do that for
Don't
her.
be modest. It's not simple at all. It is very nice. Very
So did he
nice.
deliver? Did he deliver on the 2 room and the conference room, or what did he give
Yes,
you?
in a waiting room.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of the way the design is. It's kind of like in a walkway. So, but it's perfect for just sitting and chatting, or just waiting until my next session. So,
wow.
yeah,
Tell them
that's
the
More
it.
name of
flowers for
your
Herbert.
tell
It
them the
is.
name of
It's
your
it's elevate staffing and consulting. That's the name of the world. So
We're
stop
gonna get a
by
portal
and
with.
we'll chat.
We're gonna
Yep,
take a
that's
picture of you
it.
next to your world real quick.
Okay.
Of course, my
pulled out
camera
the
gonna take
HD
its good old
camera.
time.
I'm so
I'm
jealous.
still getting used to this thing.
I still got the Android.
Step forward, just a little bit. Step forward, just a little bit. There it is. Boom. All right. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing that with
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you for
Thank you
Herbert
for
for
letting
helping
me.
more people with. Absolutely. The it's a growing industry in here. So many things that you wouldn't imagine coming into a headset. You join a app. You're in a social kind of beta, even though it's technically not in beta, and there's
Hmm.
opportunities. There's so many opportunities. We were just talking about content creators who are monetized or they're trying to get monetized. People who are looking for jobs, whether it's I got a world and I need people to help me moderate, if I got a live stream, or if I've got, something going on where I need help, because doing it alone, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, especially if it's something that maybe you're going at this and you don't have experience, or you're not sure if you can manage both, or you just really could use the help. And staffing agencies, these are ideas that, it's right now people are still getting used to the fact of being able to make money in here, but we're going to blink in another 6 months and it's going to be like, where can I find help? How can I find more people?
Hmm.
How can I get more clients? Where do I go to advertise? How do I market?
Hmm.
And we're all going to be like, oh damn, we should have thought about this 6 months ago, and we're trying to catch up. The time is right now. Every single time you think you're early, the time is literally right now, because being early to this is exactly right on time for literally everything that's being created right now. Whether it's bringing your business in, pioneering a new space, if you're trying to connect people with jobs, all of that stuff is important right now. So do it.
It's
Don't get
true.
discouraged. Hit up Jay Dunn. His phone number is 913. No, I'm just kidding. You can't text him. I don't even know his number offhand. But people like Jay Dunn and Joy Rain, people like Herbert Joyce Jr., people like Naviki Lara, people like Lord Jules. I mean, everybody in this room is a piece of that puzzle that makes everything possible. This world 6 days a week sits empty because I don't host an event in here. Metacourt, there's times where it sits empty because there's nobody in there. Without this community, without these people, these worlds sit empty, and it takes somebody just opening up that world and hitting join. So if you ever think that what you're doing doesn't have a place in metaverse yet, create it. We heard from somebody asking, where can we find other authors? We're looking for either people who have published, or somebody who wants to have a book club, or just people who want to talk and about similar interests. These are all things that you can do literally right now. And if it doesn't exist, you get to be the first. And as I said before, being first doesn't mean it's better. just do it as best you can. Put all of yourself into it if it's your passion, and that's what's most important about it. You can be fifth, you can be 10th, it doesn't matter. Have you thought about creating something that's already out there? I mean, you created the teen court because of the meta court because that was more of a need, and your art gallery, your world that you were talking about that you hosted that graduation. Have you created any worlds that were kind of inspired by another world?
Uh,
You said I'm original. People copy
no,
me.
no, man, no, no, man. That is not my that's not my mindset. Um, uh, I just really create things that I like, that kind of reflect me, besides the court,
Hmm.
I don't, that's not my place. I don't, I don't go to court, but, like art, I do fine arts, I'm a graphic designer.
Hmm.
I'm a musician, I play, so I created a studio. Um,
Shut up.
it's just like this thing just told me to shut up. But I don't know, man. This I don't know. No, not really, man. What I am trying to do now, I'm trying to step out of the box because
Hmm.
architecture is my thing. I can whip up a building within
Oh my god, I
2
don't
hours,
want it
and
then.
and it's done. But I was talking to Shady Chan, and I was telling her, I'm like, you really
Sus.
inspired me,
Sus.
you know. And I told her, I said, you really inspire me. So I'm I'm stepping out of the box. I'm looking at fine arts and attempting to do fine arts, doing portraits and things like that. And she really wants me to do things like that. So I'm just forward thinking basically. So that's where I'm at
For
right
sure.
now.
No, that's great. So Herbert, I don't remember how I met you because Metacourt, there's no walking in and kind of introducing yourself or connecting, but somehow you and I think you reached out to me. Somehow I ended up in your edit mode, and you were asking me about setting up the voices. I think that's what it was. You were asking me about the voices. You had
No,
people that were
no, no.
talking in the hallway.
I met you. I met you on one of the tours, and we were it was in a group, and I think you came in, and
Hmm.
you was like, the sound was jacked up.
Oh, that's what it
The
was.
sound was just jacked up, man. And you was like, "Hey, you should do this, that, and that." And I'm like, "I don't know how to set the sound, man. I'm not a scripter." And you came
I was like,
in,
let's go.
and man, we got
Yep.
the sound together. Yeah, yeah. That's how we met. I was like, man, I appreciate you. Thank you, because it was woo chaotic. I mean, it's already chaotic sometimes, but you just forces just overlapping, and oh god, yeah, it was a living
Yeah,
hell,
I
man.
remember now because I just I have this tendency when if I'm out somewhere, that's funny if I'm out somewhere if I'm world hopping and somebody's just like, I got a question for you. I'm doing this and this and it ain't working. And if it's something that I actually can help with, I'll be like, let's go right now. Add me as an editor. Let's
Hmm.
go. And I've done that
Hmm.
so many times that I can't even keep straight who I've done that with or anybody that I've helped. But I'm just grateful that people have taken me up on it because that's where I get to shine. I've done very little scripting up to that point, and at the time that you asked for help or were telling me your situation, I was like, "Hey, I can do that part. Let's go." Um, but you were really gracious with like taking feedback because me, when I go into a world, I'm like, "All right, let's talk about this. We got some Z ripping. We can do this. We can have the door do this. Oh, you got it over here. Maybe we can move it over there." And there was only a couple of things that I gave you a little bit of advice about, and you were just like, "Oh, that's great. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if this will work, but maybe I'll try that later. All right. Well, yeah, cool. Let's do that then." And then I created the guilty, not guilty button, and you were just like, "Yeah, that's perfect. I'll go ahead
Hmm.
and clean that up when you're done." Like, it was like you were really receptive, and you weren't like taking it any kind of way. And I appreciate when people, at least hear my feedback. Sometimes it's not always the greatest. I know I'm not perfect, but you were very gracious in like accepting help, but also being appreciative of the time that I spent in there. Did you kind of have people in your world editing kind of similar situations? You'd kind of ask for help,
Oh
or
yeah.
you just invite
Oh
your friends,
man.
or how did those connections work?
They all come in and they they all come in and uh Vic used to come in. It was Vic used to come in. All of them kind of do it a little bit. They don't do as much. Before Vic started the build, he would just come in and just sit. I actually made him an editor, but he didn't know how to control like getting big and small, so I had to downgrade him back to tester.
Oh,
I'm like man, you ain't gonna mess up nothing. So he now he know how to control things. But I remember one time him and see me came in the world, and I'm like, look what I built. Next thing you know, I'm looking around, man. They're like really small, it- just kind of like going into the cracks and inspecting things. I'm like, what are you all doing?
hmm.
Trying to see how you built this. I'm like, man, come on, man. Just so, but my friends normally do. They just come in and they was like, Herbert, you should do this. Herbert, you should do that. Herbert, you should do that. I'm like, no, it's done. I have to think about it. So I'm very receptive of constructive criticism, man. Because at the end of the day, we really need each other, and we're not meant to walk alone. I don't care
Absolutely.
what you do in life, in the metaverse, outside the metaverse, you need people to help you, and you need people. So you just got to give that part of yourself up. And so, man, I am totally here to constructive criticism, to anything, suggestions. Matter of fact, um, in the Metacourt group, I asked the people, I'm like, what type of evidence would you like? And they was like, well, maybe a tape recorder, maybe a lie
Hmm.
detector machine. So we got a new lie detector machine. Is where you ask the question, and you put your hand in there and code scripted it to the point where it randomly uh just says if you're telling the truth,
Oh, that's
error,
amazing.
or lying. But that thing seems to be pretty truthful though. I mean, I don't know if this thing is like a psychic or what, but
So you went up in there and you
yeah,
were like, "My
man,
name Herbert Joyce Jr." and it was like, "Ding." And then
like
you was like,
true.
"I created Metacore," and it was like, "Ding." And it was like, "Zuckerberg pay my bills," and it was like, "Eh." It was like, "Oh no."
Exactly, error.
Error. I want to talk to you about Metacore a little bit, and I know it. I don't mean to point it out and highlight it as your only world, because you do have other worlds, and we talked about those briefly. But Metacore, that was featured in the Plaza at one point, wasn't it, or featured in the menu?
It's it's featured in, I think it is the Plaza. Is it the Plaza? Yeah, with Soapstone and um the stew. People don't know it's up there because Horizon made it to where you have to play a game to get up to the world, but it takes two to get up there. So it's in the
Oh,
Plaza.
you're talking about in venues.
I think it's the Plaza. Venues, one of them. I get them confused,
Yeah.
man. Venues. Yeah. Yeah. It's still up there.
So that's a good point. I remember when you mentioned that it was you had to work to get to it. And I saw you voice some concern about that, but now thinking back, I have never seen it because I've never gone into venues and worked together with anybody to get to it. Um, so that's interesting. Even though it's featured, it's not easy to get to. But my question was about now I thought Metacourt was also featured in the Oculus blog. They did a write up about it.
Uh, I think they did. Is I recently seen that somebody tagged me in it. I didn't see, but I know it's there because I recently, like literally, like a few weeks ago, somebody just, I'm like, huh, that was a long time ago. But yeah,
Now,
I think it
did they
is
reach out
there.
to you and ask you questions about it, or ask you to, like, do a like a like an interview or something?
I don't even get an email from 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 Horizon World at all. I never talked to a representative, nobody from Horizon World.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, because I saw it was featured, and then I remember you talking about it being in venues, and I just thought maybe they had reached out and talked to you because the Oculus blog, they'll find like random creators, they'll find random worlds. If it's something that's going on in venues, they'll post about. Um,
Hmm.
so as far as your 2.0 update, the lie detector's upgraded. You got some evidence in there. What else is new in Metacourt that's part of that 2.0 redesign?
I have an office, so so people can come and talk to me. Um, that that's somewhat like a safe space for me. We can have private conversations, or maybe people want to have a certain concern about Metacord, or either want to hire me to build or help them with something. That's one spot right there. Um, we are featuring different doors, giving people the opportunity to put their doors in the world. Um, so much, man. I redid the entire court area. The corridor is the same. Our little kid Anthony, the with the goat spell backwards. Um, I think his parents probably took his Oculus away.
Oh
So
no.
it, and I'll be back during the summertime. He was so proactive in Metacourt, so we decided to just name the hallway Anthony the Goat Corridor. So
That's amazing.
and he wanted the office in Meta Legal Services, but I'm like, no, you're too young. And so we gave him a front desk, and he did not like it. But I'm like, you have a whole space, Anthony, it's yours. But let's see what else new. We have a new Bell's Bondsman, Bell's Bonds place where you can, fight to get out. We also have it more security when it comes to trolls coming into kind of disrupting the game. You can't just run up there where the judge is to get the gavel. It'll spun you back out. And also, Code came up with this awesome script, man, that is where when it's time for the verdict, the judge can press a button, and all of a sudden the not guilty, non guilty, not guilty sign will pop up in individual jurors, and they can press vote,
Oh,
and it'll
cool.
tally up their thing, and it'll present it on the screen. So, so we're trying to make Metacorp real innovative, make it so safe where people randomly just can't come in the court area and disrupt the play. And I know that was a big issue. So feedback is key. I don't give me feedback. I'm not going to get upset. Just give it to me, and we can try to make it better because you want people to come
Yeah,
to your world and stay in your world.
we were talking about world testing and something that I've brought it up a few times. I feel like a lot of these messages I share because the crowd changes so much every week. We have new people, and that's kind of a testament to having a surprise guest every week, is giving people the opportunity to support the show, support me, but also support the fact that we have a surprise guest up here every week, rather than it being all of whoever the guest friends are filling up the instance. And it gives people the opportunity to meet new people and be able to show up and be a part of the space, because there's so many times where you can't get in because you know who the guest is. But collaboration and play testing is huge. T Mark Berman, first thing he shared with me as advice, he said, no matter how much time you spend in your world working on it and making that one thing you think everybody's going to spend all their time on, you really need to play test. And play testing is key to finding out what people actually enjoy, what they're